Have you ever reacted impulsively and instantly regretted it? Whether it's sending a hasty text, saying something in the heat of the moment, or making a snap decision you wish you could take back, we've all been there. But what if I told you that a simple pause could be the key to making better choices? As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In this video, we'll dive into the powerful Stoic techniques that can help you master the space between stimulus and response. From the 5-second rule to perspective-shifting strategies, I'll show you how to pause, reflect, and make decisions that align with your values and long-term goals. If you're tired of feeling out of control in moments of high pressure, this is the guide you need. Before we jump in, if you're passionate about self-improvement and want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm always sharing practical insights and timeless wisdom to help you live a more thoughtful and intentional life. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with tips and strategies that can transform your decision-making and overall mindset. Let's get started. Stay tuned and stay stoic. Also, feel free to leave a comment on our video. If you're unsure what to comment, simply type "Think before act." Principle number 1. The art of deliberation. How to control impulsive decisions. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you reacted quickly, only to wish you had paused for a moment to think? It's all too easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, letting emotions drive our actions. But what if you could learn the art of deliberation, pausing just long enough to make a more thoughtful decision? The ability to control impulsive reactions can transform your relationships, your work, and your overall well-being. Stoic philosophy teaches us that the space between stimulus and response is where our true power lies. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." In that pause, you gain control over your emotions and impulses, allowing for wiser, more deliberate decisions. Whether it's in your personal life, your career, or even a simple conversation, mastering that pause can help you respond with clarity and intention rather than regret. The fast-paced nature of modern life often pushes us to act without thinking. Social media, instant messaging, and constant demands on our attention make it difficult to slow down and reflect. But here's the truth. Slowing down doesn't mean you're weak or indecisive. It means you're in control. Imagine how much better your day would go if you took just a few seconds to pause before reacting to a stressful email or an annoying comment. By learning to deliberate before you act, you not only avoid unnecessary conflicts and mistakes, but also align your actions with your values and goals. This video will walk you through Stoic techniques that help you create that space for better decision-making. Are you ready to take control of your reactions and make smarter, more thoughtful choices? Let's dive into the art of deliberation together. Principle number 2. Pause, think, act. A guide to thoughtful decision-making. How often do you find yourself reacting in the heat of the moment, only to regret your decision later? In a world that pushes us to act quickly, it's easy to forget the value of taking a moment to pause and think. But what if that pause could change everything? What if it could be the difference between making a choice you regret and one that aligns with your values and goals? In this guide, inspired by the principles of Stoicism, we explore how to master the art of thoughtful decision-making. The Stoics believed in the power of reflection, knowing that wisdom lies not in reacting impulsively, but in taking the time to consider our actions. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This ancient wisdom is more relevant today than ever, as we are constantly bombarded with the pressure to make decisions on the spot. Learning to pause before reacting can help you control your emotions and make decisions that serve your long-term happiness. Whether it's in your personal relationships, at work, or in daily life, taking a moment to think allows you to act with intention. Instead of letting your emotions drive your actions, you can use techniques like the 5-second rule or the 24-hour rule to create space between what happens to you and how you respond. So next time you're faced with a tough decision, try to pause, think, and then act. By giving yourself that brief moment to reflect, you'll find that you're not just reacting, you're choosing wisely. In doing so, you'll gain control over your life, make more thoughtful choices, and grow into the person you aspire to be. Principle number 3. Why slowing down leads to smarter life choices. Have you ever felt pressured to make a quick decision only to regret it later? In a world that constantly demands fast responses, it's easy to get caught up in the rush of the moment. But what if the key to better decision-making is to simply slow down? By taking a moment to pause and reflect, you can avoid impulsive choices and align your actions with what truly matters. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This quote reminds us that our minds can create unnecessary urgency and fear. When we slow down, we give ourselves the chance to see things clearly and make decisions based on reason, not panic or emotion. Slowing down allows us to step back, breathe, and consider the long-term effects of our actions. By pausing before we act, we create space for wisdom. That space is where we can ask ourselves important questions. Does this decision align with my values? Will I regret this choice in a day, a week, or a year? For women especially, who often juggle many responsibilities, this pause can be a powerful tool for self-reflection and intentional living. In a fast-paced world, slowing down is a form of strength. It's not about avoiding action, it's about taking the right action. The next time you're faced with a decision, remember that slowing down isn't a sign of weakness. It's a path to clarity and wiser choices. By embracing the pause, you can take control of your life and act in ways that serve your true goals and values. Principle number 4. How to master your reactions in a fast-paced world. Do you ever feel like life is moving too fast and you're constantly reacting without thinking? In a world where we're pressured to make quick decisions, it's easy to let emotions take the wheel. Whether it's a heated conversation, an urgent text message, or a stressful situation at work, reacting on impulse often leads to regret. But what if you could take control of your reactions and make decisions that reflect who you truly are? Stoic philosophy teaches us the power of pausing before reacting, reminding us that we have control over our responses, not external events. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This wisdom is more relevant today than ever. The ability to master your reactions, especially in fast-paced environments, can transform the way you approach everything from relationships to career decisions. Taking a moment to pause and reflect before acting gives you the space to align your decisions with your values and goals. Instead of letting frustration or anxiety guide your response, you can choose to react with clarity and purpose. This simple act of mindfulness can prevent you from making hasty choices you might later regret. The key is learning to slow down and trust that not every situation demands an immediate response. By mastering your reactions, you empower yourself to make wiser decisions that support your growth and well-being. In moments of stress, remember that the pause is your greatest tool. It's not about ignoring your emotions, but about giving yourself the time to respond thoughtfully, ensuring your actions align with the person you aspire to be. Principle number 5. From rush to reason. Techniques for better decision-making. Have you ever found yourself in a rush to respond to a situation only to regret your reaction later? In a world that constantly pushes us to act fast, it's easy to get caught up in the urgency of the moment. But what if you could slow down, take a breath, and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively? This simple shift could change everything about how you make decisions and handle life's challenges. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Often our minds magnify the urgency of a situation, making us feel like we must act immediately. But by pausing and using Stoic techniques, we can gain clarity and reduce unnecessary stress. The power to move from rashness to reason lies in mastering that brief space between what happens to you and how you choose to respond. One powerful method is the 5-second rule. Whenever you feel the urge to act impulsively, whether it's sending a quick text or reacting emotionally, pause and count down from 5. This brief moment allows your emotions to settle, giving your mind the opportunity to think more clearly. Another technique is the 24-hour rule for bigger decisions, where you wait a full day before making major choices. This gives you time to evaluate the situation from all angles, preventing hasty actions that you may later regret. By transitioning from rushed emotional reactions to thoughtful, reasoned responses, you'll find yourself making decisions that align better with your values and long-term goals. Think of each decision as a building block, shaping the life you truly want. Embracing these Stoic techniques will not only help you think before you act, but also guide you toward wiser and more fulfilling choices every day. Principle number 6. The power of a moment. Why pausing changes everything. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you acted on impulse, only to wish you'd taken a moment to think it through? In today's fast-paced world, we're often encouraged to make quick decisions. But have you ever wondered how much difference a single pause could make in shaping the outcome? What if taking a brief moment to reflect could change everything? The Stoics understood the incredible value of the pause. They believed that the gap between stimulus and response is where our true power lies. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This idea is crucial when it comes to making wiser decisions. When we pause before reacting, we give ourselves the chance to assess the situation, manage our emotions, and choose a response that aligns with our values and goals, rather than letting the heat of the moment drive us. In moments of high stress, whether it's in relationships, at work, or even daily interactions, taking a pause can mean the difference between regret and growth. By pausing, you allow your mind to catch up with your emotions, giving you the clarity to act with intention rather than impulse. Think about the last time you made a decision you regretted. Could a brief pause have helped you see things more clearly? Remember, the power to make thoughtful, intentional decisions is within you. It all starts with mastering that critical moment of pause. In the space where we reflect instead of react, we find our true strength. Strength that leads to wiser, more fulfilling choices in every aspect of life. Principle number 7. Making wise choices. Practical methods for everyday decisions. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the number of decisions you need to make in a day? Whether it's choosing how to respond to a difficult situation or navigating life's larger crossroads, making the right choice can sometimes feel daunting. What if there were a simple set of tools you could use to consistently make wiser decisions, both big and small? The ancient Stoics believed that wisdom comes from practicing thoughtful reflection, and their timeless techniques offer practical guidance for our modern lives. One powerful idea from Stoic philosophy comes from Seneca, who said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This means that many of our worries about making the wrong choice stem from overthinking or letting emotions take control. But by applying simple methods like the 5-second rule or taking a moment to pause and breathe, you can calm your mind and make decisions that align with your true values and goals. Imagine how much more confident and clear-headed you would feel if you learned to master that moment between impulse and action. Everyday decisions, whether at home, work, or in relationships, shape the direction of your life. Stoicism teaches us that it's not about eliminating emotions, but about learning to manage them. Techniques like the 24-hour rule or the pros and cons list allow you to slow down, reflect, and make choices with more clarity. Instead of reacting in the heat of the moment, you can create the space to act thoughtfully. By incorporating these Stoic practices, you can strengthen your ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Making better choices doesn't have to be a struggle. It's about mastering that pause, reflecting, and choosing what serves you best in the long run. Principle number 8. How to stay calm and choose wisely in stressful situations. Do you ever feel like stress is pushing you to make decisions you later regret? Maybe you've snapped at a loved one or made an impulsive choice you wish you could take back. In a world full of chaos and pressure, staying calm and making thoughtful decisions feels like a challenge. But what if you could train yourself to respond with grace and wisdom, even in the most stressful moments? The Stoics believed that while we can't control external events, we can always control how we respond to them. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This timeless philosophy teaches us that emotional resilience is not about avoiding stress, but learning to manage it. When life throws challenges your way, it's easy to react based on emotions. But by practicing pause and reflection, you create space to choose a more deliberate response. Whether it's a difficult conversation or a sudden change in plans, you can regain control of your emotions by simply pausing. One practical tool the Stoics used was the 5-second rule. When you feel stress rising, take 5 seconds to breathe and consider your next move. This small pause allows you to think before you act, avoiding rash decisions driven by emotion. You might be surprised at how much clarity this short moment can provide. Stressful situations become more manageable when you pause and give yourself time to reflect on the best course of action. By learning to stay calm under pressure, you'll not only make wiser decisions, but also gain more confidence in navigating life's challenges. The power to choose how you respond, even in the heat of the moment, can be a game changer for your peace of mind and personal growth. Principle number 9. Avoiding snap judgments. Simple tools for better outcomes. Have you ever found yourself making a decision in the heat of the moment, only to regret it later? It's all too easy to get caught up in emotions and make snap judgments that don't serve our long-term goals. But what if there was a way to step back, pause and approach these situations with more clarity and wisdom. That's where the power of Stoic principles comes in. In a world where we are constantly pressured to act quickly, it can feel unnatural to slow down and reflect. But as the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This holds especially true for impulsive decisions. Often we create anxiety or regret by acting before we've had a chance to fully understand the situation. What if instead you could take a moment to step back and approach your choices with calm and control? One of the simplest yet most effective Stoic tools for avoiding snap judgments is the practice of pausing before you act. Whether it's the 5-second rule for smaller decisions or the 24-hour rule for bigger ones, creating space between your emotions and actions gives you time to reflect. This not only leads to better outcomes, but helps you align your choices with your values and long-term vision for your life. By embracing these Stoic practices, you'll find that you can respond rather than react and make decisions you're proud of, decisions that lead to greater peace, growth, and personal fulfillment. Learning to avoid snap judgments doesn't mean indecision. It means approaching life with intention. So, next time you're tempted to act on impulse, remember that a thoughtful pause could be the key to making wiser decisions. Principle number 10. Harnessing the power of reflection for stronger decisions. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the sheer number of decisions you face each day? Whether it's choosing how to respond to a frustrating email or navigating larger life choices, making the right decision can feel like a challenge. But what if you had the tools to approach each choice with clarity and confidence? The secret lies in the power of reflection. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." By taking the time to reflect before we act, we can transform impulsive reactions into thoughtful, purposeful decisions. Reflection doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out process. It can be as simple as pausing for a few moments to assess the situation and your emotions. Ask yourself, what is the outcome I truly want? Does this choice align with my values? When we take the time to reflect, we step away from the heat of the moment, gaining perspective and allowing reason to guide our actions. This pause can make all the difference between regret and contentment. In a fast-paced world where we often feel pressured to respond immediately, reflection is a tool that gives us back our power. It creates space between the event and our response, allowing us to make decisions that align with our long-term goals rather than our immediate emotions. Imagine how much more in control you would feel if you approached every choice with intention instead of reacting on impulse. So, how can you incorporate reflection into your daily decision-making? Start small. The next time you're faced with a choice, whether it's a simple or significant one, pause, breathe, and reflect. By practicing this habit, you'll not only make wiser decisions, but also cultivate a greater sense of control and calm in your life. This is the essence of Stoicism, thoughtful action rooted in self-awareness. By subscribing, you'll join a community focused on personal growth, resilience, and the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. You'll also ensure that you never miss a video that can help you cultivate a more peaceful and fulfilled life. So, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let's continue this journey together toward lasting happiness and inner peace. Stay tuned and stay stoic. Also, feel free to leave a comment on our video. If you're unsure what to comment, simply type "Think before act."